So you've got Labyrinth Lord and you want to add some options to your game. Enter the Advanced Edition Companion. Again, Steve Zeiser art, I just think it looks fantastic. They just go so well with one another. The striking white columns here with the black, these horde of monsters fighting these adventurers, this terrible demon coming out of this door. I just really dig the way this one looks. I mean, same as the other one. So it says Player and Referee Guide of Advanced Edition Options. And this, in essence, kind of levels up your game to first edition AD&D. So it's about 153 pages, and it's got a slew of new options. So it doesn't have the core rules. You'll still need Labyrinth Lord in order to use this. And it says here for use with Labyrinth Lord and other basic games. So let's take a look and see what we got. This is my bookshelf copy, so it's a little hard for me sometimes to get a good page turn in here, flipping, because it's just so pristine. But this is the one I just don't really touch too much. So you've got your character abilities. You're going to have a little bit more tables. Like you've got a Constitution table 1 and 2 with Survive Resurrection and a little bit more intelligence table. So you're just a little bit more, you know, obviously adding to the game a little bit. You've got your character races are now split from class. So I know a lot of people enjoy that. And it's going to have 7 total. In total, it's got 7 races with 4 of them are familiar and 3 of them are going to be new. And so you've got dwarves and elves, and they're going to have certain requirements they're going to need to have in order to be one of these race, as well as ability minimum and maximums that you have to do. You've got gnomes, you've got half elves and half orcs now, and of course they can only be a certain level. And this is the old D&D way of doing stuff, and it's not a big deal. Just either play that way, or if you want to go past those levels, go past them. It's not rooted in, it's not stamped out in stone. No one's going to come over and take your books from you if you want to go past that level. So it's not a huge deal. And I kind of embrace it. It's usually, sometimes like a half elf can only be a level 5 cleric. Okay, well, if you want to do that, then you can only go to level 5. But if you want to change it, change it. It's not that big a deal. And of course, races are going to get adjustments for thief abilities. And that's cool. Always enjoyed that. Kind of shows you which type races are kind of better at which type thieving. You've got Assassin here with all that it does. And of course there's your Cleric again. You've got Druids, they're new. Illusionists are new. They're pretty fun. Both of them are great character classes. And you've got Monks, which always kick butt. Always enjoy a good monk. Paladins and Rangers. And here's one of the best rules in the game is advanced hit dice. So sometimes we play Labyrinth Lord, just the normal game, but we wanted to use the advanced hit dice. And it gives some of the character classes, and most of them actually, it gives them more hit dice. The monk, magic user, and illusionist, they retain their D4, but everybody else kind of gets a boost. And so that's cool. You could still play just a normal elf. You get a boost of D8, or your fighter now has a D10. So sometimes we would just play Labyrinth Lord and be like, yes, we've got to have advanced hit dice. Some optional rules for age and stuff like that, whether or not that kind of does your character in. Rules on multi-classing, which are always good. The new saving throws for the new, and everybody else, the new classes. And then you're going to have kind of your normal gambit of sections here on equipment. There is one good new equipment and thing is herb uses. So it's got some list of herbs, and that's pretty cool to add herbs into your game. And then you've got a whole slew of spells. There's a whole bunch it's got all the spells that are in Labyrinth Lord and then some, all sorts of new ones. So that's helpful. You just have this book and have all these options for spells. So it's going to be about 56 pages of spells, and some of them are going to be, most of them are of course going to be normal magic user spells, but everybody gets them now, as well as like the new druid ones. So we're just going to kind of go through past that so you can see you've got all of them. So a great book to have to add more spells into your game. There's all the magic user spells. So it's a lot. A lot of the book is the new spells. And of course that's kind of like, just add in a whole other supplement to a game. And there's all your spell lists there. So very cool. As you can see all of them listed out. You've got all new magic items. So it's going to have a listing that says LL showing you the other magical item. If you roll that up, it's going to be the Labyrinth Lord book. And the other ones are going to be new to this book. So it's got a lot of new magical items, which is fantastic. So it's just a lot of the extra stuff that, you know, you want to add into your game is going to be in this this book. The monster section here has got all new monsters, and it's got some new rules about habitat density and lair encounters, pretty much the difference between if they're out wandering or in their lair. And this is nothing, of course, but helpful having all these types of monsters. And then you've got devils and demons and some great art there for those. I really enjoy those, especially this guy here. He's a little rough. I wouldn't want him sitting down on my couch, that's for sure. All that stuff, dripping down. There's your drow right there. And we're just going to continue on, and that's really it. You've got a whole bunch of new monsters, and it's a slew of them. And then towards the back here is where you're going to have some new rules. And these are pretty fun to use, and it's something you've got to kind of remember whenever you've decided if you want to completely switch over from Labyrinth Lord to the AEC, is you've got multiple attacks for fighters, rules on helmets, parrying, some dual damage, 2-weapon fighting, all these rules here on poisons, and how to deal with vision, like infravision and ultravision and stuff like that. And of course, the perils of using poison, it can go back and kill you. That's detrimental. Rules on invisibility, which has always been a complicated rule in a lot of games. And then how to mix potions. Don't do that. That might backfire on you. And then what type humanoids might be spellcasters. Very helpful. Talking about the planes here. So a little bit of information just on getting outside the realm of, let you maybe build on a little bit of campaign stuff. And then you've got a lot of great random tables. And of course, these are very reminiscent of the fantastic tables that are in the first edition AD&D Dungeons Master's Guide. So random traps, atmospheric details, everything you want to kind of add and spruce up. Random sounds, miscellaneous room contents, specialty room furnishings, random features. It's great. And then random tavern patrons. Also fantastic with how they act and what type of traits they have. And then weight and height and weight. And then you've got a great monster list here of all the monsters by hit dice. So it's a great game that's even improved even more once you get the Advanced Edition companion. I mean, you can completely just get Labyrinth Lord, but this I think is going to just, they look so good together. How can you not get them? So it's almost like you've got to, and even just to have the options to be able to split race and class apart, which, some people don't like. My mindset is I kind of think about what the game is, and I just play it. I pretty much play it the way it's written, and I know some stuff, people kind of get used to it from other games, and they don't like that. But great rules in here in order to give those extra options to your Labyrinth Lord game. Fantastic art once again. There's the back of it there. And yeah, it's just, it's a great book to add to your collection. And I'd recommend anybody that has got Labyrinth Lord to check out this book as well. And I think most people probably do. They know they're jumping in with Labyrinth Lord, and they're going to want to have these options. And it's kind of like some of the extra stuff that's in the Dungeon Master Guide from first edition is kind of all by itself. And so it's nice to kind of have, the rules and your kind of basic information there. And then that you're getting a lot of optional stuff in here. And that optional stuff, well, of course, if you want to play first edition D&D, that's pretty much the basic aspect of the game. So there it is. The Advanced Edition Companion, highly recommended if you want to play Labyrinth Lord and add a little spruce up to your game. So there it is. I appreciate you watching. And yeah, check it out. I'll have the link down in the description. And subscribe to my channel. I think like only 82% of people, 82% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed, which is fine. I'm just out there to hopefully shine some light on some great games. And let me know what you think about, this version or other OSR clones out there. I'd love to hear about it. So thanks a lot.